Hi, it's Grandma Mimi. Today I'd like to talk about rosemary. Rosmarinus officinalis. I think I got that right. But directly in front of you are my two rosemary plants. They both have been able to winter over for the past couple of winters. The one here on the left, this is actually a more cold tolerant subspecies, what it's called. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. The second one, I'm not sure how cold tolerant it is, though it did make it through our winter last year. This plant was a gift to me from some friends, and I put it in, and it made it through, and it actually thrived this summer. And now just briefly, this beautiful blue-gray plant, this is a Dutch lavender I put in last summer as well, and it made it through our winter. So I think one of the benefits I have with growing my rosemary, since it can be hard to winter over when you're in the more northern climes, is that I have these planted on the south-facing wall of my house. And soon I will give them heavy mulching. I will trim them back and harvest them for the winter. Rule of thumb is don't try to take more than a third of a plant so that it can still survive and keep on growing. Especially going into the fall, the life force is going down to the roots, and so we can take trimmings from the top, and I'll probably trim, about this far down on a lot of these. I may take this section, part of this section that's fallen over here. This is a more vigorous plant than this one, and so I may take just a little bit more of it, but I'll try to keep it at a third. On occasion you can take a half of a plant, but especially with rosemary, which this time of year, since we're going to be going into our cold weather, we want to be careful, and I would like this to keep growing. So if we get into some rougher winter weather, I will throw some plastic over it to help protect it. But rosemary, we commonly think of a culinary herb with it. It does have cosmetic and medicinal uses. One of the uses cosmetically is to make a cup of tea with it and use it as a hair rinse, an herbal hair rinse. It will help add shine to your hair, and it's also been said that it will stimulate the scalp and cause your hair to grow thicker, and will help to stop hair loss. I haven't had that problem, so I haven't used it in that way. I do give it a rinse every now and again. If you soak cuttings of rosemary in apple cider vinegar, it makes a wonderful face splash, very astringent, so it'll help tighten the skin on your face. Speaking of its astringency, it also has, besides being astringent, has antiseptic qualities. So if you make an herbal wash with it, it can help also in clearing up blemishes on the face with its astringent and antiseptic properties. As a medicinal herb, those antiseptic qualities makes it good for washing out wounds. One of the things too I like to do with it is I add it into my herbal formulas when I'm making salve, because the rosemary will help my oils from going rancid and will keep the salves good for a longer amount of time. What else can I tell you about rosemary? Because it can keep oils from going rancid, it traditionally has been used for helping to preserve other foods, meats especially, which is why we use it traditionally as a culinary herb. That's one of its traditions. Rosemary is also supposed to be able to stimulate circulation. It does have diuretic properties, so if you're fighting inflammation or would possibly have gout, drinking rosemary tea would help flush that from your body, from your joints, and would help a gout situation. Excuse me. So this is rosemary, and besides all of its many uses, historically too, it's been used to aid the memory. And one of the uses for it in herbal lore is that it would dispel negative energy. I love rosemary. I love the smell of the plant. I find it very refreshing. And if I could dig these babies up and put them in my house for the winter, I would, but I know that they wouldn't survive till the spring. It tends to be that fussy, for me at least. So I hope you enjoyed the little tidbits about rosemary. If you have none in your garden, I would suggest getting a start going. It's just a wonderful, wonderful plant to be friends with. So y'all have a great afternoon, and I hope to be talking to you soon. Bye.